Charlie chose Valentine over Lulu, y'all. How do y'all feel about that? Let me know down below. But hey, y'all, welcome back to another review live with Chess for General Hospital, January 3rd, 2025. Okay, y'all, so first things first, let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Look, we got to start with Willow, even though she wasn't on this episode. Why is she crying in tomorrow? I'm about to say tomorrow's episode. On next week's episode tomorrow, so he's going to take my kids from me. I said, did you take his child from him? You didn't even have the nerve. You didn't have the audacity. I'm definitely not using the right word. You didn't have the decency. That's what it is right there. You didn't have the decency to tell this man. Well, she probably knew he was going to say no. See? Carly was right. Carly told him he made a mistake. And I think, was it Diane too? Somebody told him. And the crazy part about it is, one, she over here crying, talking about, so he's going to take my kids from me and all this stuff. But you just took his son away from him and didn't tell him to go lay up with this man. Look like she got her shirt halfway off. Look like she's sitting on the bed or something. We'll see. But yeah, she over here crying and stuff. And then, what's the second thing? Oh, the second thing was the fact that he was just saying Willow's a great mother or whatever. Basically, the kids need her and him. And you don't sit up here and did this. And then Nina the one snitched. I mean, he was going to find out anyways. Then they don't sit up here and took a photo of Willow and Drew. And it's on the website or whatever. And I said, she knew better. And Drew knew exactly what he was doing. And I said, I don't even think it's going to matter. I think she's going to be upset when she finds out the truth about Nina and Drew. But then she's going to go right back to him. Okay, so let's talk about it. We're going to start with Sasha, Michael, Felicia. So basically, Michael ends up telling Sasha he's willing to go through with her plan if she does something for him. He basically wants her to stay in town, and eventually she ends up agreeing. But yeah, he was trying to tell her he'll help take care of her and the baby or whatever. She's like, no, I want to do this myself. But she did say, he also told her to talk to her family and stuff. But she did end up saying, she's going to stay in town and everything. And I say it's going to come back. The truth is going to come out. Watch. I know what else I was about to say about Willow. I said on next week's episode, look like Monday's episode, she gonna be crying or whatever. I'm assuming to Drew saying that he's gonna take my kids from me or whatever. And I say, he gonna say, I'm not gonna let that happen or whatever. I'm gonna use all my resources to help you or whatever. I say, you need to be worried about your own child. You need to be worried about your own child. But yeah, Sasha and Michael was just talking about that, and she eventually says that she's gonna stay in town or whatever, but she still don't want his help. I said, that's gonna come out. That's still gonna come out. Watch. Then Felicia ends up finding out, that Sasha is pregnant or whatever. But, I think she can't really say anything. But she didn't tell her that Michael was the father. But it's only a matter of time before somebody find out. And it's more than likely going to be revealed during the custody battle. Which is crazy because how you crying about him trying to take your kids and you took his child. You literally took his child without telling him. But yeah, Nina one told, but wait, let me see. I guess we're going to go there next. Nina and Curtis. So basically she came in there mad, talking about some Drews in Washington with my daughter. I said, what they got to do with him? Why you mad at him? And they end up talking about how Drews changed and all this stuff, or maybe he was the same person, or he is the same person, and just talking about the fact that Nina need to come clean. And she's still over here on the hush-hush because she know that Drew going to end up saying that he was the reason why that, they even have a bond to begin with or whatever. But Curtis telling her right. And I feel like she should have been told. And I still feel like she gonna be mad at first, but I think she still... Because this ain't... You would think if she found out that her mama was also sleeping with this man, that she'll be offended, disgusted, or something. But on this show, be for real. Be for real. They do this all the time. They do this on the regular. They do it on the regular. But Curtis basically ends up asking Nina if she's upset or bothered that Willow's in Washington with Drew, or it's the fact that she's not there with him or whatever. And I said, ooh. I said, right on, Curtis. Right on. And he was like, I know a way to basically open Willow's eyes, because she was talking the whole episode about the fact that Willow can't see who Drew is and all this other stuff. She may not belong with Michael, but she definitely don't belong with Drew and all this stuff. And he ends up getting her to say out her mouth that she been sleeping with Drew. But he ends up telling her to tell the truth or whatever. Michael ends up walking in or whatever. And then Nina was like, hey, Willow's in Washington with Drew. Did she say Wiley's with her too? I think she did. I said, look, she was scared. I said, and the crazy part about it, she over here talking about the doggone Drew is influencing her. She need to make this decision for herself. She need to think for herself. But you doing the same doggone thing. Didn't we just talk about that? You doing the same doggone thing. Willow just gonna have to start thinking for herself, period. Period. She got to get out of that mindset where she was in that cult or whatever. I think next we're going to talk about Sonny, Isaiah, and Jason. So basically, Isaiah was telling Sonny he needs to see somebody about his heart, a specialist or something like that. And he's still over here. He think it's a game. But Jason ends up walking in, and that's when Sonny ends up revealing to him about his heart, the fact that he's been dealing with this for a while. Do y'all think it's connected to Cyrus? Not Cyrus. Well, yeah, Cyrus, but how would he had done that? Because so far Sam and Dex both passed away due to a heart attack or whatever, but he hasn't had a heart attack. Do y'all think it was something in his medication or something like that? What do y'all think? I don't know. Let me know down below. But eventually, Sonny ends up saying they need to change the way that they do business or they run business or whatever. So he eventually ends up. Let me make sure. Let me see if I wrote it down. He ends up asking Jason to be the one to run the business or whatever. Because at first Jason was like, I do what I need to while you go to the doctor or whatever. I'll run the business short term. But he was like, that's the thing. He needs somebody to run it long term or whatever. And he asked Jason. Jason said he honored and all this stuff, and he'll always be loyal to him. But he can't. He got to think about Danny, especially with Sam gone there. I said, right on. I said, about doggone time we see this storyline. About doggone time we see this storyline. I'm so happy they going there, but I want to know who gonna run the business. They also was talking about the fact that somebody ended up bringing his weapon to the police station. I had forgot about that. He talked about somebody ended up bringing the weapon to the police station, and he was talking about how they need to figure out who did it. So they bringing that storyline back up as well. Do y'all think it was Cyrus? Look, Cyrus been running. I'm ready to see what all he done did. Lulu and Dante. So basically, she was still upset. She was going off on. Look, he tried his hardest to tell her that you put in Charlotte in more danger. She was blaming. She had the audacity to tell him, "You the one that brought the shooter there, and the sniper there, or whatever. They followed you." He was like, "No." He was like, "No, they followed you." I said, "Right, right, right." He was like, "Think about it. They didn't have enough time to follow him there. He had just made it 5 minutes before they took the shot at Valentine or whatever." I said, after all that and everything she doing, Charlotte still chose her papa. She still chose her papa. But yeah, the whole episode, Dante was trying to get her to see that Sam made sacrifices. She got to think about Rocco and all that. She was like, she love Rocco, but Rocco, they're safe. Charlotte is in danger. And he was trying to tell her, you the one putting her in more danger. Valentine gonna protect her and all this stuff. The more you try to get her, the more danger she's gonna be in, because they following you, or they been following you. I said, now I understand, because she been in a coma for 4 years, and she want her child. Not just that, it's the fact that she had, then, I forgot how they ended up bringing Charlotte on the show. But yeah, she didn't have no relationship. She didn't really have the relationship that Valentine has with Charlotte, and that's exactly why Charlotte chose him over her. But she still ended up telling Dante, mind your business. She ended up telling him basically, Rocco's safe or whatever. This is my life. I appreciate the fact that Sam made sacrifices and all that good stuff, but that ain't got nothing to do with me finding my daughter. It's not your child. It's my child, whatever. Mind your business or whatever. And Dante ends up leaving. And lastly, we got Valentine Charlotte. And basically, Valentine was like still saying that Lulu came up with this plan with Dante and all this stuff. So Charlotte over here blaming herself. She was like, I should have trusted you or whatever. I shouldn't have did this. Then she ends up asking him if he thought that, and I liked that part, if he thought that Lulu was responsible for the sniper. And he was like, no, I don't think so. And she was like, how can you be sure or whatever? And he was like, it will hurt you. She'll never hurt you and all that stuff. And I said, right on. I said, by the time you tell her son good. But they ended up talking or whatever, and that's when he ends up saying, he made those choices, so he on the run. And that's why people after him and all this stuff. But she doesn't have to be. She could go home with her mama, or he could put her on the flight back to Port Charles or something. And she thought about it, and she was like, Mom has Rocco and Grandma and everybody else back in Port Charles, but you don't have nobody. I'm not abandoning you. And I said, oh. But at the same time, it's like, dog, I thought something. Like, what do y'all think? Y'all think it's over with, or do y'all think it's more to come next week? But I think that's everything. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next video. Until next time, deuces. Have a great weekend and the rest of the day. And a great rest of the day. Deuces.